The girl drops to her knees in desperation, calling out to Brother Shadow. She begs him to help her and reveals her only request: she wants Dongfang Yu dead. Brother Shadow looks at her calmly and rejects her plea. His response is firm, showing he has no intention of getting involved. She quickly continues, explaining that she isn't asking for help for free. She says he can have anything she owns: equipment, skills, and even all the lifespan she earns. She's willing to serve him just to make this happen. Tears fall as she repeats her final condition. As long as he agrees to kill Dongfang Yu, she'll give him everything she has. She insists she'll obey him completely, even if he makes her his slave, showing she's willing to give up everything for her revenge. Brother Shadow stands firmly and repeats that he won't kill Dongfang Yu for her. He explains that vengeance is something she must carry out herself. Still, he adds that he will help her grow stronger until the day she can face her enemy. How far she reaches, he says, will depend on her own ability and luck. Shocked, she slowly looks up and asks how he plans to help her, unable to believe he agreed to support her in any way. Brother Shadow finally explains his offer: if she joins his guild and becomes one of his people, he'll guide her toward her revenge. She pauses as a system prompt appears, inviting her to join the guild named Shadow. She realizes he's the only member in it. Understanding the condition, she accepts the invitation. The system confirms she has officially joined his guild. Shadow notes her decision and tells her there's now just one step left before her journey begins: she must undergo class advancement. Shadow tells her that figuring out class advancement is her responsibility. He orders her to come find him only after she succeeds. She stays kneeling as he turns away. He adds that if she can't manage even this, she should abandon the idea of revenge entirely. Later, Shadow moves through the academy, recognizing her potential as the Blade of the Netherworld. He notes that with a bit of guidance, she can grow far stronger. He enters the deepest part of the Spectre Academy, thinking that once she matures, she may even become useful to him. Shadow enters the Academy's Guardian Chamber, facing the mutated witch Stana, a platinum-grade boss with 4 elemental heads. The fight begins instantly. Shadow unleashes Dark Knight Ring Blade, using high-speed movement to dodge her attacks. He observes her first phase: only one head attacks at a time, and the Guardian is immune to physical damage. He realizes he must rely on his weaker elemental skills to deal damage. Shadow prepares his next move, with Pale Bone Blade boosting his mobility and Shadow Blade restoring cooldowns on hit. He gets ready to cut through the boss's defenses. Shadow unleashes Shadow Blade repeatedly, turning the battlefield into a storm of purple strikes as he shreds through the boss's defenses. His attacks hit non-stop weak points, allowing him to fire like a moving Gatling gun. Damage numbers explode across the boss's elemental heads. As he pushes further, the Guardian enters its next phase. All 3 active heads attack together, forcing Shadow to dodge while maintaining pressure. The Fire Head takes the lead, launching rapid, aggressive attacks. Shadow notes that the Guardian starts dancing, signaling even faster and more dangerous movements. The Guardian unleashes massive elemental beams in every direction, firing indiscriminate area attacks as all 3 heads focus on Shadow at once. Shadow weaves between the beams with high-speed movements, slipping through the gaps while the room flashes with red, blue, and green energy. He counters with rapid Shadow Blade strikes, landing continuous weak point hits that overwhelm the Guardian's defenses and shake its elemental heads. As the boss staggers in midair, Shadow readies his finishing blow and says it's time to end the chaotic battle. Shadow defeats the mutated witch Stana in a massive explosion, earning 50,000 exp and obtaining the Spectre Academy's Platinum Key. A system notice declares him eligible for class advancement. Surrounded by swirling shadows, he commands the process to begin. His class evolves from Tier 1 to Tier 2, granting triple attribute boosts and new passive skills that let him attack without breaking stealth. Holding the glowing key, he acknowledges the transformation Tier 2 shadow is a complete upgrade, making him far more dangerous than before. A few minutes earlier, at the outer area of Spectre Academy, the girl confronts the men who previously attacked her. They mock her for returning. Their leader steps forward, laughing that he didn't expect her to use chain blades before. He claims he was careless, but this time he's brought the entire Asura Hall guild. He charges at her with full strength, swinging a heavy weapon while declaring he won't hold back like last time. She reacts quickly as the attack closes in. She counters with a powerful strike, slamming her foot into the ground and knocking the attacker down with a sudden earth slam-like impact. The girl activates Shadow Dive, sinking into the dark mist around her as she prepares her next move. One of the enemies throws an explosive device toward her, hoping to catch her before she escapes. The blast goes off, sending a bright shockwave across the area. One of the attackers cries out as the impact hits. Before they can react, she reappears behind another enemy and strikes him down in a single swift motion. One of the attackers pins her down and lifts his weapon, shouting that he'll teach her a lesson. She's forced against the ground with no room to move. As he reaches for her, she quickly pulls out a glowing item. He thinks she's trying to escape, scoffing that it won't work. She crushes the item in her hand, releasing a blinding flash that knocks him back before he can react. The remaining attackers recognize what she used: suicide poison, a tool that cuts half her lifespan and sends her back to the respawn point. They mock her, saying she's more troublesome than expected. The attacker grabs her again, acting deranged and shouting excitedly. She's pinned and unable to move as he leans close. She tries to resist but is overwhelmed, gritting her teeth in pain as he presses down on her. Suddenly, a system alert appears overhead. Platinum Shelter of Spectre Academy has been placed under the Shadow Guild's authority. The attackers are confused by the message. A powerful barrier activates around them. Blue lightning bursts through the air, marking all non-Shadow Guild members as intruders and engulfing the attackers in a sudden shock. After the barrier wipes out the intruders, a system message appears: cleansing complete. The girl sits up, confused by what just happened. She looks around as the bodies vanish into light, trying to understand why the area suddenly became safe. A new message reveals the truth: Spectre Academy is actually a shelter, and it now belongs to the Shadow Guild. Shocked, she realizes the meaning. In just a few minutes, Shadow defeated the Guardian and obtained the key, claiming the entire place for their guild.